Despair, and then they show back up again. It's like this cycle that they get in. And the reason is because you can build these habits of how you approach the hard things of your business. At the beginning of this, I talked about what are the things that we're running away from that are controlling us. I want you to think about that in this context now. Have we let ourselves fall into the habits where we are limiting ourselves, where when it comes to approaching the hard things that we do, that maybe we can do them for a little bit, maybe we run away from the beginning, but at some point we mentally kind of check out. And then we circle back, and then we have to kind of rebuild back up to that point again, and then we circle back, and we rebuild back up to that point again. And that's the scary thing, is if we're not careful, we go through this cycle. Guys, you deal with this all the time with challenges. Have you guys ever had challenges where like, I've lost weight before, and then I put it back on, and then I lost it again, I put it back on? Well, what's the difference? The difference is when they come to you, you're not teaching them a pill or a shortcut. You're teaching them how to discipline themselves to push past that point. Does that make sense? So the application here, beyond your business, in terms of coaching your challengers, that's really what you're teaching people to do, okay? This is also why it's so hard to teach people how to be successful, right? Because it's a mindset about how to approach the things that are hard for us but necessary for our success. And those things are different for every single person. Okay? And so how do we do that? We teach discipline. We teach them the discipline to do the hard things. So whatever happens to be hard for you, I need to teach you the discipline on how to do those things, a lot like I do with fitness and nutrition, all those other pieces, so that then whatever your hard things are, you can do those things. Okay? Now, I will tell you this. What I've always seen is at some point, as you pay the price to go through this, there's a pivot point where the emotional cost starts to level out. And then it actually starts to get a little bit easier. It's not that it's easier, but the emotional energy you have to spend doing it is less. Does that make sense? It becomes easier to do. It's this idea, okay? That you're paying the price of success here to get the experience, to get the understanding of what it is, but the rewards of success are on this side. But again, where do most people quit? Here. Oh, it never worked for me. Oh, I tried that. I couldn't do it. Yeah, I didn't have any success with that challenge group we did. Okay? I couldn't make... If you look at all of those things, you guys, those things we hear, chances are people are quitting here before they paid the price necessary to get that reward of success that they've got. Okay? The hard but true principle in this world that demands instant success, or says that what we should be going after, is that real lasting success will always lag behind the work done to achieve it. Okay? It's always going to lag behind that. This is where all the work is. The success lags behind that. Okay? I love this quote. Successful people form the habit of doing things that failures don't like doing. By Albert Gray. Okay? One of the things that I teach, first of all, any questions about any of that before I jump into this? That specific disciplines that I can do to lead myself make me a better leader and tend to move things forward for me. And it's a pretty straightforward strategy. It's pretty simple, and I want to share it with you in case it'll help you. All right? Obviously, like we talked about before, aligning everything to your why clearly unleashes tremendous power and focus in your business. Okay? That's what we talked about earlier. This is kind of where we pick up on these 3 disciplines of self-leadership with our goals, which is where a lot of you are facing right now, right? We're going to come out and we're going to have some goals set up. Here's some things I want you guys to think about then in terms of these 3 disciplines. Our first one is the discipline to be completely committed. Okay? The reason why this is important is because it is a pervasive epidemic sometimes in our society today to give lip service to goals with no real sincere commitment to actually achieving them. It's easy to talk about what you're going to do. It's hard to actually be committed to doing them. Okay? Commitment is a feeling that can be visibly seen through what we do. The hard thing about lip service then is lip service starts to diminish our confidence in ourselves. If you guys set goals or kind of lip service to goals that in your heart you really have no intention of achieving, you'll start to lose confidence in yourself. You won't believe yourself when you set a goal. You won't trust yourself when you set a goal. And it also hurts the trust that others can have in you as a leader. So you're better off, you guys, to set a goal that you really are going to be committed to getting to than setting a goal that you think is going to impress somebody. Okay? What I like to teach people is to live in 4 to 8 week increments of goals. And the reason is because that's the easiest way to tie self-discipline of doing actions to reaching goals. We want to create a culture of setting a goal and achieving a goal, setting a goal and achieving a goal. If you want to create a winning culture on your team, if you want people on your team to feel like they're winning, set goals and achieve goals. That's like every time, a football team goes down and scores a touchdown, they get to celebrate the touchdown, right? The game's not over, but they get to celebrate the touchdown. Setting these small goals gives you a chance to celebrate the touchdown with your team and with themselves, and that makes people feel like winners. And people like to feel like they're winning, like they're succeeding, okay? The second discipline is to control the controllable. Honestly, this is where 90% of people goof up. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time on this one, okay? This is one of those things I just hope you'll remember this. Control the controllable. Control the freaking controllable, okay? The freaking controllable, okay? This is all about emotional energy management, okay? It's about focus, and it's about peace of mind. I cannot tell you how many calls that I have with coaches. I can't tell you how many times I have conversations with myself, with my wife, with other people. You guys have the same ones. People stressed out, freaked out, losing their crap over stuff they can't control. Here's the crazy thing about it. Katie, why are you laughing?
I'm not.
Okay. It never happens with you. Okay?
Never, ever.
But here's the reality. It's wasted energy. It's wasted time. It doesn't do anything to change it. It makes you weaker. It feeds into the fears and the self-doubts you have when you're stressing about this stuff. Is it natural? Yes. The reason why it's stressing you out is because you can't control it. That's why it stresses you out. But here's the bad habits that it leads to. Okay, you guys? I'm not sure I'm staying on point. What we end up doing is people know the things that, like you set a game plan out. Okay, you got your goals. Okay, great. Goals I'm committed to. Here are the things that I need to do to be successful with those goals. I get a call from a coach. I got to walk them off the ledge, and I've got this, or I need to hit Success Club, so so-and-so needs to buy this challenge packer. All these things out of your control start coming up, and they start stressing you out. And in your mind, very quickly, you take the things you can control, and you put them on the back burner. Because it's almost like, I'll get to those things later. Right now, I'm just like, I'm obsessing about this. I've got to make a phone call. I've got to do some other things. I've got to do some other stuff. And what ends up happening is the very things that you've identified that you need to do, that you can control to build your business, you do them when you're tired, when you're weak. You do them at the end of the day when you're kind of spent, because you spend all your other time and energy that you've dedicated to your business towards other things. Okay? So the discipline to control the controllable has 2 parts. The first part is when you look at your goals, I want you to choose 5 to 8 things. They don't have to be big things, but 5 to 8 things that you can control that will help you hit that goal. And then you hold yourself accountable to doing those things daily or almost daily, whatever your plan is. That's the first part, the things I control. The second part then is I have to do those things first. Whenever I sit down to do my business, whether it's a power hour, whether it's however you do it, where you're squeaking it in during lunch breaks, it's not mindlessly scrolling through news feeds. It's not dealing with the drama of the moment. It's I'm doing these things first. And the funny thing is about when you put the most important things first, you find time for all the other stuff too. Okay? This type of an approach of controlling the controllable, guys, obviously is applicable in your business, but also in your life in general. It is one of those things that from time to time, I just want to ask yourself, when you're feeling stressed, overwhelmed, when you feel like you've got so much stuff on your plate, you just can't move and you're almost paralyzed, say, am I controlling the controllable? Am I spending my energy, my time on the things that I can control to bring about my goals or not? Okay? So you guys have heard all of these things before. But I want you to think about them in terms of disciplines. Disciplines means you're not going to be perfect at it. Disciplines means these are things that we are going to constantly engage and try to make a part of our life, that when we fail with them, that's okay. We pick ourselves back up and we keep doing it because we're trying to grow. We're trying to discipline ourselves in this area. Being fully accountable, is what encourages or helps you with self-discipline. It's how we turn good intentions into good productive habits. I think all of you in here have very good intentions. And I think a lot of you have some really good habits. But I promise you that all of us in here, including me, have ways that we can improve our habits. We have good intentions to change that. Let's make those things happen. We do that through being fully accountable. I like to tell people that want to be accountable to two people. The first one is themselves. To lead ourselves, we have to be accountable to ourselves. That doesn't mean we beat ourselves up. This isn't like the self-abuse section of the meeting, okay? What I mean by being personally accountable, I'm going to give you a formula. I call it winning the day. At the end of every single day, what I'm going to ask you to do, if you'll do it, if you'll trust me, some of you will, some of you won't, that's okay. I want you to find 5 minutes to yourself. That can be hard, I know. Lock yourself in the bathroom, get in the car, drive down the block if you need to, whatever. Find 5 minutes to yourself. And you're going to just clear your mind, and you're going to ask yourself a simple question. Did I win the day? And to answer that question, you're going to go back to those 3 to 5, 5 to 8 controllable activities that you've identified as being part of or what you're going to do to achieve your goal, and you're going to say, did I do those things, and did I do them first? And if you did, you won the day. We don't look at the outcomes. We look at, did I do the things that I control? Because you can't control the outcomes sometimes. Did I do those things? And if you did, you won the day. And you're going to give yourself a pat on the back. You're going to do a little happy dance. You're going to celebrate it. And it's important because you've got to celebrate those touchdowns. You've got to give yourself celebration, recognition, pieces like that that allows you to feel like you're winning. On these early stages of your business, when so many times you feel like it's kind of heavier, you've got to give yourself those moments. So once a day, give yourself the opportunity to have won the day. Now, if you ask yourself, did I win the day? And you look at those pieces and you didn't win the day. What I want you to do is not beat yourself up about it. Stop it. You're going to immediately go into clinician mode. You're diagnostic. What happened? How did it get away from me? What can I learn? Is this something that trips me up a lot? Okay, what can I do about it? And you're clinically going to analyze it. We're not going to beat ourselves up about it, guys, because just like scoring touchdowns can lift us up and make us feel like winners, feeling like we're always fumbling the ball can make us feel like a loser, and that's what we project. A winning culture attracts people. People want to be a part of that. If we're constantly beating ourselves up over the mistakes we made, our imperfections and all this stuff, we exude that. That comes out in who we are. And people are kind of like, oh, we might be kind of the sympathy, but we don't get the people saying, I want to do what you're doing. Okay? So we don't beat ourselves up about it. We make a plan. Okay, well, today got away from me. I didn't win the day today, but here's how I'm going to win the day tomorrow. And you're going to take 2 minutes, get a simple plan. Here's my keystone habits. I got to get my workout in the morning. I got to make sure I get 2 posts in by lunch. Those are your keystone habits, whatever they happen to be. Okay? That's what I'm going to do tomorrow. And you go to bed with a clear mind and peace in your heart, and you wake up the next day and you win the day. Okay? The second person you want to be accountable to is someone else you can trust, your coach, your spouse, I don't care. Someone you can trust. And you just tell them. Don't make your coach chase you for accountability, please. Just go to your coach and say, here's my goals. Here's the action items that I can control, that I've committed to do every day. Will you hold me accountable to these things? I give you permission to hold me accountable to these things. Please do it. Why? Because you want to build those habits. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay. How about the shortcuts? It's easy, guys, to be just one more person out there looking for shortcuts to success. You will find comfort in that. Because there's a lot of people that have embraced mediocrity, and they do so, and they like it when other people do it as well, because it makes them feel good. Right? What I'm going to say to you is we're better than that. All of us are. We have it within us to be better than that. Everybody does. But you're here. You kind of set yourself apart in a lot of ways for that. The hard thing is to be the person willing to do what it takes to be successful, to eat all the ingredients in the stew, not just pick out the meat, which I like to do sometimes. Okay? But to eat all the ingredients in the stew. Okay? It is about consistent effort. It's not about perfection. So stop holding yourselves to such incredibly high, unrealistic standards. Stop letting the imperfections that come along with learning something frustrate you and diminish you and punish yourself about it. Don't do that anymore. Look at it for what it is. Okay? Treat yourself how you treat other people. Okay? It is about remembering why you started. And it's about believing in where you're going. Even when there's the fog, even when there's other things that come in that might want to dissuade you. It's about believing in where you're going. And it's about realizing the value of a journey to get there and seeing the process of the progress in the process.